Superman vs. Doomsday, the final showdown. It began as an ordinary morning in Metropolis. The sun had barely climbed above the skyline when the earth trembled beneath the feet of its citizens. Buildings groaned, car alarms wailed, and birds scattered from the rooftops in frightened clouds. At first, it was dismissed as a minor earthquake, unusual, but not impossible. Yet the tremors grew stronger, more frequent, and more deliberate. The city, always bustling and loud, grew quiet as fear crept into every heart. Then he emerged. From the outskirts of the city, tearing through the earth like a creature born from the depths of the planet itself, Doomsday clawed his way into the light. Towering, monstrous, and wrapped in jagged bone protrusions that jutted from his body like the armor of an ancient beast, he moved with a singular purpose: destruction. Each step left a crater, each roar split the air like thunder. Roads cracked beneath his weight. Vehicles were tossed aside as if they were toys. Nothing could stand in his way. News spread swiftly. Cameras broadcast the chaos. People screamed and ran for shelter. The military responded with futile resistance. Tanks, helicopters, missiles, all falling like twigs before a hurricane. Nothing slowed him. Nothing stopped him. But somewhere, in the heart of the city, Clark Kent stood silently. In the Daily Planet newsroom, eyes locked on the screen that displayed the devastation. No one noticed him slip away. There was no hesitation, no doubt. He knew what was coming. He had faced monsters before, had stood against forces that threatened the earth itself, but this time felt different. He could feel it in his bones. This wasn't just another battle. High above the chaos, Superman soared into the sky, the wind tearing at his cape, the city's cries of fear pushing him onward. He moved faster than sound, a streak of red and blue blazing across the heavens. And below, Doomsday turned his gaze upward. Their eyes met. There was no need for words. The collision shook the sky. The two titans crashed into each other with the fury of gods. Buildings shattered beneath the shockwave. Windows exploded outward. The air itself seemed to ripple with the force of their blows. Superman struck with precision, channeling every ounce of strength into his attacks. Doomsday countered with raw brutality, his fists like sledgehammers, his body a living weapon. They battled across Metropolis, from rooftops to highways, from industrial yards to empty city squares. The war between them consumed everything in its path. Superman fought with discipline, with strategy, seeking any weakness in the monster before him, but Doomsday was relentless, adapting with every moment, growing more savage, more dangerous. The people watched from shelter, from behind shattered windows and beneath the crumbled walls of parking garages. They watched their protector bleed. For the first time in years, Superman bled. Still, he rose. Again and again, battered and bruised, he rose. His punches thundered through the monster's chest. His heat vision seared through its armor. But nothing seemed enough. Doomsday kept coming, unyielding, unstoppable. Each strike from the beast sent Superman crashing through walls, through the remains of vehicles, through the very ground itself. And yet, the Man of Steel never gave up. He remembered Smallville, the warmth of the sun on Kansas wheat fields. He remembered Martha's smile, Jonathan's hands on his shoulders. He remembered flying for the first time, the joy of discovery, the weight of responsibility. He remembered Lois, her strength, her stubbornness, her unwavering belief in him. He remembered why he fought, for them, for all of them. Even as the pain racked his body, even as his breath grew shallow and his limbs heavy, he pressed forward. He led Doomsday away from civilians, toward the outskirts, toward the wastelands, where fewer lives were at risk. But the effort took its toll. Doomsday landed a devastating blow that sent Superman into the dirt, the crater beneath him deep and smoking. Blood trickled from his mouth. His suit was torn. His cape, once a banner of hope, now hung in tatters. And still, he stood. With one final push, Superman rose into the sky, burning with the fire of the sun itself. He called upon every last reserve of strength, every drop of power left in his cells. He knew this moment would come. He had always known that one day, a battle would come that he might not walk away from. But if this was the end, then he would face it standing. He rocketed downward with a roar that echoed through the heavens. Fist first, body wrapped in light, he collided with Doomsday in an explosion of force that leveled the ground around them. The impact cracked the air, shook the clouds, and lit the sky like a second sun. For a heartbeat, there was silence. Then both bodies fell. They collapsed into the rubble, unmoving. The dust settled slowly. The wind carried the silence across the battlefield. People crept out from hiding, afraid of what they would find. Soldiers approached with weapons lowered. Paramedics rushed toward the fallen hero. Doomsday lay still, his chest unmoving, his eyes lifeless. Superman lay beside him, his hand clenched into a final fist, his face peaceful, as if in sleep. There were no cries of victory, only the soft sound of mourning, of gratitude, of hearts breaking and healing all at once. Lois Lane arrived too late to hold him, but she knelt beside him, whispering words he could no longer hear, tears falling freely onto the fabric of his uniform. The people gathered not in panic but in reverence. The city stood still for him, Metropolis remembered, and the world would never forget. In the days that followed, statues were built. Monuments rose in every corner of the globe. Candles flickered in windows. Children wore red capes and spoke of bravery. The name Superman became more than a name. It became a symbol, not of invincibility, but of sacrifice, of standing tall, even in the face of death. They buried him beneath the golden sun, in a tomb watched over by angels. Heroes stood in silent salute. Even those who once called him enemy bowed their heads in respect for the man who fell to save them all. And though the world wept, they also stood taller, walked braver, lived better, because he had shown them how. And far above, beyond the stars, beyond the sorrow, the legend of Superman lived on.
Thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe if you like videos like this. Thank you.